Hi there, this is Chris. It's Thursday, day before surgery, so I just wanted to give a quick update for this week, kind of what's happened in my final week before I go in. And hopefully it'll be helpful for folks. Um, as I'd mentioned in my last video, on Tuesday I had a whole bunch of appointments to support the surgery. So my day began with 7:30. I had a COVID test. They had a drive-through test at an offsite related to the hospital that I'm going to. The interesting thing there I wanted to share is just for your own awareness. It was not pleasant. It was an easy experience. You drive in. In my case, it was a rapid test they were doing, and they did a swab to the nose. I was not aware that I saw the long swab, and it doesn't really faze me or anything. But the thing I was not aware of is how deep they go. They go in really deep, and it was really uncomfortable, and I was really kind of surprised. I thought it was going to be easy to just to basically the interior of your nose, but I felt like they were touching the back of my skull. So anyway, to share with that. So I had that done. I checked too. We have an online portal for our hospital trying to check results, but no results on there, which is kind of weird. But I know there's a lot of sensitivity to COVID data, so maybe something to do with that. I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't see the result. But being that I'm having the operation tomorrow, I'm going to assume it was a-okay. So anyway, there was that experience. Also Tuesday, I had an appointment with the surgeon. That went pretty quick. There was a few questions I had. One thing I wanted to ask on in particular was when I was reading that the stomach initially is about the size of an egg. So I actually take a medicine called Vascepa, and what it is it's basically a modified fish oil, and it's supposed to lower your triglycerides, which is why I'm taking it. And it comes in. It's a modified fish oil. It's really big pills. You take 2 grams at a time, and I would say the pills are roughly an inch, let's say, or half an inch big. And I was curious on how that would work, and my doctor was saying just to pull the liquid out to have it, or just don't do it, because it's not really an essential that I need, like, for life, like that kind of medication. So he's like, if you don't take it for a few weeks, he's like, you'll be fine. So anyway, so there was that. And I asked just some other questions too. They were really, nothing major. It was really just around pills and stuff like that. And we spoke for about 15 minutes, and it was a good visit. So after that, on my Tuesday, about an hour later after that, we had our class. And basically what my surgeon does is he does a class to pretty much give an orientation to people of life after the surgery and what to expect. So we did that, and that class was it was scheduled for 2 hours, but it lasted about an hour and a half, and that we did that through Zoom. It was small. It was only a handful of people that were with me, like maybe I think 3 other people and the instructor, and it was prior to that class. They sent out a lot of paperwork, a lot of documents. And just to share, they had a consent document, which I already filled out, I think a week or two ago, listing all the conditions to the surgery and that you're in agreement with them. They had sample meal plans, and then they had something I really wanted, which I was waiting for, which was how does it work from, like, you get a surgery, yay, you had, now what do you do next? And it had a meal plan that details basically like what I did now with this pre-op diet. It was sort of a step down diet from where you are originally eating to where you need to be to shrink everything down for the doctor to do his surgery. And then so the diet they gave is almost like the reverse of that, where you start out with clear liquids, you graduate to shakes, and then you gradually integrate food into your diet. So there was a lot of documentation surrounding that, so proper quantities to have, and and really the time frames that you can move off of from one phase to the next. And I want to say it's roughly 5 or 6 phases that you have to do. They ask you to do, I should say, to get you back to what your new normal is. So I was really glad to get that because I had kind of a lot of questions on kind of what's next and what I have to do. So, and I like to know all the stuff ahead of time because for me it just I don't want to have surprises. I don't want to cause a problem that is unnecessary. So I appreciated having that material, and they go over it in class too for those, of course, who don't pay attention. So anyway, they do that. And then what they had also on there is they had also recommendations for protein and how to keep it up and stuff like that, and different foods and that kind of material. And also your discharge instructions are in there too, which I was really glad to see because I wanted to know what do I need to do? Is there anything special? Because I remember when my wife did this, I know there's a lot of process right after your post-op, and they had the specifics on that, which was good. And just to share too, there's 6 different prescriptions that I got. There was, if I recall correctly, there's one pain medicine which is like an acetaminophen and Vicodin mix, and then there's for pain, and then there's also I believe 2 anti-nausea medicines, and including one patch, which was interesting. That was neat to see. And then there's also a prescription for a cleanser because you have to supposed to wash the area where the surgery is supposed to take place. You're supposed to wash that with antibacterial soap. So they give you prescription. Well, not give you. They give you a prescription for antibacterial soap. And then there was omeprazole. And that's a prescription for an acid reducer for your stomach. And it seems like, at least for early on, as your stomach immediately after the trauma, as it heals, the omeprazole kind of helps with lowering the acid content there, so the stomach can heal, I imagine, better. So yes, there was and then there was also another prescription for. Those were there's another prescription for shots and it's an anticoagulant shots that you're supposed to give yourself post-op. So there's a lot of prescriptions, and there was detailed instructions about each and what to do. So I appreciated that because it's kind of overwhelming to suddenly here's Tuesday, I'm going in on Friday, so what do I need to do again? And suddenly it's all a flurry of information of how that works. So one thing I wanted to share with that is with those prescriptions, since it was Tuesday and I was going on Friday, I really had to at least I like going to the warehouse clubs for my prescriptions. That's where I got it pretty much all filled. But one of the medicines I did have to chase down, so it was not easy to obtain. We live in Reno, Nevada, and it's just it's maybe less of a selection than bigger cities. And I'm glad I did not wait for the last minute because it was not easy to get the pain medication of all things. So that took a little bit of effort to kind of hunt down, and even I had to follow up with the doctor's office, and then also follow up with the pharmacist, and just make sure hand A is talking to hand B so we can get it done. So that was a little bit of just keeping on top of things. So I definitely recommend that. If you have if your surgeon has a similar type of thing, you definitely got to keep on top of things to make sure that things move smoothly. It's in your best interest to do so. So anyway, so that's good. I got all my prescriptions filled though. Everything is done. It's again, like I said before, it's Thursday, day before surgery, and everything is looking good. I'm trying to have a lot of water. I had my last meal about 10 minutes ago, which is terrific. My my lovely tomato and cucumber combination, and so it's we're just waiting for the time. Tomorrow afternoon is when I go under. So and then I'm not allowed. I think tomorrow I'm not allowed to eat food past midnight today, and tomorrow I can have water up till 9 a.m. So for my afternoon operations, but we're all good. I packed a little bag and got everything going there, and everything was smooth. Just seemed like a pretty busy week though. There was just between the chasing stuff down with the pharmaceutical stuff and then the Tuesday that was felt like it was kind of a lot of just a lot of activity. But glad to be here. Tomorrow's the big day. So anyway, I just want to keep you in the loop. And and for my stats today, I guess I'm at 292 today. So that's cool. I'll take it. So and that's where I'm at. So anyway, next video will more than likely be after the surgery. And thanks. Have a good week.